Do you want to talk about what's going on with RFK? Are you across this?
So I'm across this up until about 2 weeks ago, but a lot more has happened since then.
I'll read you the things that I want to talk through, and then we'll go through there. All right. So because there's so much, and I'm trying to touch on everything.
He's turned into a machine. I said, can I just say, I told you so. I said when he was appointed that his appointment as head of the HHS would be bigger than Doge.
Yeah.
And I think that is proving to be exactly the truth.
So RFK has come out basically saying there's no randomized trial between fully vaccinated and never vaccinated kids, and there has been a lot of the data that was there has been destroyed.
Yep.
And I want to get this right, but he said that there was, and it's really hard to find this because all the media is saying the opposite to what RFK has said.
And the pejoratives they're coming out with indicates that they're losing.
Yeah. So, and even now with ChatGPT, I tried to find it and it's given me factcheck.org, Time, Forbes, and Voices for Vaccines.
Yeah.
So nothing from the actual American government. So RFK has been in Senate hearings for the whole week. And then Rand Paul came out saying something today, saying that we are dropping a new revelation on Fauci tomorrow. Stay tuned.
So I did a video a little while ago when the White House, which is its own distinct organization, right? It's separate from government, the White House. So this is Donald J. Trump at a more personal level.
Yeah.
Dropped a website all about Fauci.
Yes.
And it had a whole bunch of revelations about him, some of which was new, some of which, a lot of it was not. And I said at the time, watch this space because Donald Trump is setting the scene here. If this website and what's on this website was the long and short of what he's got planned, then this website makes no sense. It does not make sense. As a piece of communication, it would have been a White House statement, a press release, like they've got thousands already on the website just from this most recent term of Donald J. Trump. That's all it would have been. That told me, beg your pardon, that told me that there was something much bigger coming.
Yep.
Now, excuse me, the water has got to me.
It's my mushroom water again.
Now, to be fair, it's taken longer for the next step to happen than what I expected. I expected things to happen much more quickly, but I think what we're watching now is an unfolding of that. Now, Trump published on Truth Social something that is a significant departure from his previous position. Have you got that?
What happened yesterday?
So he's basically posted and said there aren't any good vaccines.
Yeah.
Which is an extraordinary departure from his previous position. He has previously defended warp speed. He's previously defended the mRNA jabs. He's previously defended vaccines. And he's come out now, and it was Donald J. Trump on Truth Social has basically come out and pretty much jeopardized the entire pharmaceutical industry because their bottom line is built 90% on the childhood vaccination schedule.
That video, because he posted on Truth Social, this one here, they're all poison.
Yes.
Show them the thimerosal bottle, which we keep in a metal container because we're a little afraid of it, and it's a very fine powder.
This is thimerosal, which is labeled very toxic, has cumulative effects, can cause damage to the kidneys, to the respiratory system, skin, to the nervous system. It specifically warns on here that it can cause reproductive and developmental toxicity, meaning that it can cause things like autism and other neurodevelopmental disorders. This is immensely toxic stuff.
And it's in vaccine.
And this is what's in the vaccine. It's important to realize we're talking about a whole range of products. Vaccines are a big one because, of course, you're directly injecting it. For example, this is tetanus vaccine. This one expires, it's a little outdated now, in 2007. Here's the thimerosal. 1 to 10,000 is a preservative. Perhaps the biggest one in the U.S., at least, that's for exposure to mercury is the influenza vaccine. Influenza vaccine is
People
now
get it every
recommended
year.
for all pregnant women, all infants, all children on a yearly basis. You're supposed
You
to
have
get
last
that
year's
shot.
influenza? Understand
Right.
that thimerosal is not added at the end. It's not like, well, that factory next year can make thimerosal free. Thimerosal, you either have to have a thimerosal-free factory or you have to not have one. They add thimerosal at each step because the factory is not clean and not sterile. So you either have to have an expensive sterile factory where you don't need thimerosal, or you have to have one that produces thimerosal. It's going to need thimerosal or something the whole time. It needs to be stopped.
This is the influenza vaccine from Adventist Pasteur, their flu zone. Thimerosal, 25 micrograms of mercury per dose.
But I'd like to point out that a lot of people didn't know, and I'm one of them. I've given 2,000 Rogam shots. I've been in vaccines for 35 years. I didn't know that Rogam had thimerosal in it. So I think a lot of the doctors were unaware. They were unaware that even the word thimerosal meant mercury.
So pause that there. So mercury is being systematically eliminated out of the supply chain now. And in fact, I believe, and I'd have to go back and look at this specifically, but I believe most vaccines are now completely mercury free. So I think that particular information might be a little bit out of date, but I'm very open to being corrected on that. If that proves not to be the case, I might be getting things mixed up because I haven't gone back and re-researched that explicitly. But just as recently as 2 weeks ago, RFK Jr. was in a series of hearings, particularly looking at vaccine injuries and these sorts of things. And what he was chasing, the particular bone that he was chasing at that point in time, was the remuneration of doctors and the fact that doctors were getting paid typically $600 per patient that they had that was fully vaccinated. But they would only get that bonus payment if a certain percentage of their practice was vaccinated or higher.
Yeah.
And so what this creates, and in the case of individual practices, there were individual practices getting over $1 million a year in these bonuses, which they cannot get if their overall percentage of fully vaccinated patients drops below a certain point.
Yeah.
So they were actually, and RFK Jr. was getting testimony from people who were verifying that there are doctors that have fired patients because they refused to get vaccinated and they were jeopardizing their ratio, jeopardizing that threshold, and therefore jeopardizing those up to $600 US per patient payments that they were receiving.
Yeah.
The entire industry is basically a massive criminal cartel. They don't have the data they claim to have to prove the safety or the efficacy. They are continuously doing things they say they're not doing with their products. I mean, look at the revelation recently. I can finally say it without fear of being censored. DNA plasmid contamination in mRNA jabs is way above anything resembling accepted levels. I mean, way above anything resembling accepted levels. That was a conspiracy theory until a couple of months ago. And now, as of, I think it's only 2 weeks ago, an authoritative source has finally come out and confirmed what's been known for some time. There's a lawsuit against the Australian government based on exactly that. There's so many things, the entire industry, but then also their sales model and their remuneration model was basically a criminal cartel. It was not a Ponzi scheme. It was a standover scheme where basically they were using money, dangling money in front of people and saying, you will bully your clients into taking our products or else.
I don't know enough about this stuff. All I know is it smells rotten as hell. And I hate how the media has made a mission out of it to censor any dissent or any discussion.
Yeah.
And I find it disgusting that even in the Senate hearings, and I mean, I hate watching politicians talk to each other anyway, but watching them just come at him when, you know, I think RFK has genuine good intentions, and you can watch the politicians going, it's no different to what happened with thalidomide and Gardasil and a whole host of other things that have been detrimental to the health of humans. And then the politicians and the doctors and all the organizations and all the levels of bureaucracy have silenced and tried to cover it up. And it's the same with oxycodone. Like, this is so disgusting. And I get on my high horse because I just want to see truth prevail. But I know this is so much deeper than that. Well, you've survived another episode and you're still here watching. So at this point, you should probably go and subscribe. And if you don't, you are going to be at the wrath of Spicy Carls. And whilst you're there, empty your pockets. There's a buy us a coffee button, and would really appreciate it so that I can show up every day and just make Topher's life an absolute living hell. Much appreciated.